Hello, testing, 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 testing. Is this thing on? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Shady Monkey Show. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Shady Monkey Show. Big thanks to our sponsor, Oriental Distilling Company, for supplying us with this beautiful gin. Today, we're going to kill the raspberry before we get into the blood orange. We have another amazing guest today, Esteban Beltrán. Say your last name how you would say it.
Beltrán.
Beltrán. It's like the
Yeah,
R's.
the R is very strong. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I can't do it. I tried. I tried Spanish in high school, but it wasn't very successful. So, but you're from Colombia.
Yeah, my family, both of my parents were born in Colombia, and I was raised in Colombia. Spent like 12 years, 13 years in Colombia, at least minimum. Yeah.
And you still have family out there, so have roots?
Yeah. Most of my father's and mother's family still lives in Colombia. Yeah. And some are spread out around the world. Because in my family there was a lot of migration from both sides, my mother's and my father's families. They migrated a lot to different countries and settled in different countries. And that's why I also think I grew up in different countries, because my parents were also settling in different places. Yeah.
So if you don't mind scooting a little closer to the microphone.
Yeah.
Where'd you go after Colombia?
So.
Well, first, man, cheers, dude.
Hey, salud. Cheers.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for inviting. Yeah, it's nice.
That's good, right?
Yeah, I like that. So I think I was born in LA.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So you're an American citizen.
Yeah, I got the U.S. passport.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't stay to live. My parents decided to move out after just like a year.
Oh, really? Do you remember? Do you know which part of Los Angeles you were born?
Hollywood area.
Okay.
Yeah, the Hollywood area.
Yeah, I grew up in Los Angeles.
Oh, right.
Right in Culver City, not too far from Hollywood area.
Okay.
So,
I never been actually, so I have no idea about LA. I spent my first year of life there, so I have no memories of it.
right.
So yeah, it's just a place I was born in, I guess.
Yeah, like I was born in West Virginia,
Okay.
but moved out when I was 3.
Yeah.
So it's the same
right?
thing. I have like no roots, no family, no nothing.
Exactly.
There, just like happened to be like.
Exactly. Yeah, my parents were kids as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I was born when my mom was 17 or something like that.
Oh wow.
So and my dad was just like 21, maybe 22. So they were both kids, just like figuring it out, like finding a hustle. And my dad found a hustle in California, and so they were just there while the hustle lasted. And then things shifted, so then they went to Colombia.
Back home.
Yeah, and then we spent like 2 years, I think, in Colombia, in Bogota, in the capital, and then moved back to the U.S. because my dad decided to become a student, do like a master's or something in New York, in Columbia University. So we moved there.
Master's in what?
International law.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a lawyer?
Yeah, but dad is a lawyer, yeah. He's a lawyer and a teacher.
Is he still in the U.S. or?
No, he actually has now very little interest of being in the U.S. He loves being in Colombia.
So he moved back to Colombia.
Yeah, when we actually moved back to Colombia, like more like to spend a big chunk of our life together in the year 2000, 1999, 2001. And yeah, so my dad, he's done trips and stayed a few months out of Colombia, but basically Colombia has been his base since then. Yeah.
Yeah, like every time, like, coming from the U.S. and I've never been to Colombia. I've been to Ecuador, which is a beautiful place. Colombia looks like a beautiful place.
Yeah.
But the news is always like, drug cartels, cocaine headquarters,
Yeah.
And living there, like, is that something that's like present every day, or is it?
I would say so.
You would say so.
Yeah, like what you see on the news, like it's prevalent in the culture, in the country, in the history, in the population in general.
And it's the biggest crop export of the country, or
I don't know this year because there's other places in competition, and sometimes they fight for first place. But Colombia has been one of the main exporters for decades now.
sure, but like it is like the country's number one crop.
I would say so. It's hard to say because since
all
it's
under the
very
table.
illegal under the table,
Right.
so there's not really good numbers to know exactly how much. And but in general, the investigators, and the people studying it, do like conclude that it's one of the main engines of the economy of the country. Yeah.
Because like South America is like such a beautiful place in the world,
It is amazing.
and I've actually always wanted to like go and travel more in that region.
Yeah.
But like every time it was like, oh, don't go there. Like you're an American, it's gonna be dangerous.
Right. Yeah, especially in the 90s, 2000s.
Yeah,
That
like
was
this is
very
when I was
intense.
growing up. You know.
That was very intense years for
So-
Colombia. The war was more out there on the streets and the cities.
Right. And I think it was Ronald Reagan and George Bush was like
Yeah.
on their big
Yeah.
just say no.
Yeah, also, right?
You know.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy to think about. Yeah, and it kind of like not only the drug business is part of the culture and population and part of the reality of politics and economy, but the blood and the war behind the competitors and the mafias and the way that the relationship of power moves, because it's always constantly shifting.
Sure.
It's not like one big lord who's owned the
Right.
business for decades. No, it's always shifting.
Right.
Every year there's new like alliances, and then the next year they break up and start their own battles between themselves.
Right.
An old group that was very like strong and owned like a lot of land and used to have good relations with the government might now be divided and have their own internal civil war like between their different
Sure.
sides, and might be fighting the government now. It's shifting. It's very complicated. It's not
Yes.
like, oh, these are the good, these are the bad, these are in
Right.
charge, these are not in
Right.
charge. It's constantly shifting. Yeah. So it's actually for people who study it, man, they go really deep and they love it. You can make up thousands of movies, blockbusters
For sure.
from
like
all this.
like you think about
struggle.
like Esteban Carlos Esteban, right?
Oh yeah, Escobar. Pablo
Escobar.
Yeah.
It's not Escobar.
Oh, last night that happened to me.
You know?
I was working at this club, and someone asked my name, like Esteban. Oh, Esteban Escobar. I'm like, no, it's Esteban. Just Esteban.
But like he's like very famous, right?
Yeah.
And you must think like there must be so many people like him
Yeah.
that nobody's like in the public domain, right? Like
Yeah.
nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure. He inspired a lot of people. Well, mostly because it's interesting to see how finally it's a lot of people's dream to come out of poverty and to be rich quick. And so to see someone who not only did that, but defied like the whole system and like to a certain extent was very successful.
Yeah, I mean, because like as much as he did bad,
Yeah, of course.
he also was very loyal to the common people.
Yeah,
What's
to-
what I mean?
To his friends,
To his friends,
family, his
like,
extended.
Well, so he put a lot of money into the community
Yeah, for
and
sure.
built schools and
sure.
you know, like
So it really inspired a whole generation of other people, and so they have followed in his steps, and some are much more powerful than him right now. But they also learned that you don't want to be loud, and you want
Yeah.
to be smarter in your ways of doing things.
that's what his problem was. He was too.
Overreactive.
He wanted to be on the TV, you know. He
bit
wanted
too
to be a
much.
politician,
Yeah,
you know.
He was very intense.
So like you know, like if you're gonna do this, like, but just you know,
Yeah. Now it's more like the mafia family, like when Pablo Escobar was alive, and the power struggle was very clear between a mafia clan against the government. It was like that was the obvious clash. Now it's super more nuanced. Now the new like people that are in power, thanks to this drug business, have married into the political families.
Right.
Have very close friends and close
Money
ties
marrying money,
with
you
the
know?
governors, mayors, judges,
Sure.
everyone. And they're very good friends.
Right.
So they make sure that keep a certain level of collaboration and peace, I guess.
Yeah.
Sometimes they rupture; these relationships become tense and rupture, and they break into violence. Sometimes they're there and they're very quiet, and they just keep getting rich and more powerful and taking over more things,
Mm-hmm.
expanding their business, and very quietly, nobody's talking about it. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well, someday I hope I can have the chance to go visit, because it's definitely, from what I've seen, is one of the most beautiful places.
Yeah.
You know?
I think every time I'm there, I don't want to go anywhere else. you know?
Right.
And I've traveled a lot to a certain extent, I could say, like around Southeast Asia, beautiful countries, India, Australia, Indonesia, Thailand.
Are you guys connected to the Amazon forest?
Yeah, we have a lot of it. Like half of, I would say, if you look at the map of Colombia from far away,
Like
you
the
look at
northern
satellite,
northern is like the beaches, right?
Yeah,
Ocean.
like half from like at least almost the middle of, if you cut it in half, that southern half,
It's all Amazon.
almost all of it is Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been cut down a lot, but it's still very the most southern area is just thick. There's no roads.
Right.
There's no way. You can't put a car in there. You can't drive anywhere. It's thick.
A lot of rivers, and
Yeah.
you got to go by boat.
Yeah, you got to do lots of boats and
By foot.
walking by foot, horse, or some areas you have to like hire a special, 4x4 car with a special, like a driver
Sure.
that can take you through some areas. Yeah, that's how people travel there. Not many people are traveling there though.
And you just went back home recently,
Yeah,
right?
I was there in 2021, 2022.
So let's just step back before we get there. What brought you to China?
My family.
So
Yeah. They first did a initial trip to China in 2007.
So in your family, like your mom and dad traveled together?
No, extended family, uncle, cousins, like they all came for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Just
for a
to view,
just to
visit?
check out China, see what business opportunities they could
Okay.
do of import export. And then out of that trip, one of my brothers, who was part of was traveling with all of them, decided to stay.
That's Seabass? Okay.
Yeah, he decided to stay in 2007, and he spent like almost a year here in China, in Guangzhou. And then he went back to Colombia when I was there in Colombia, and we met up. And then my dad told us, like, you should now go back to China, and this time, like, try to learn some Mandarin and help out the family with anything related to the business.
So your family started doing
They did start some
import-export stuff.
Yeah.
Like trading or whatever.
Yeah, some very simple things, but yeah, they thought like it was a great idea to send us. My dad always wanted to like empower us and like you should learn some like Chinese. You should learn to live alone in a different country. That's not your culture, not your people.
Yeah, it's always good especially while you're young.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know?
When we were 17, 18, it was perfect.
Right.
Yeah. And so we did that. And so I came back with CBAS and moved into Shenzhen. I spent a year.
And when you moved to what year?
2008.
2008.
That's when we moved here, like more, definitely. And I spent a year only because then my dad went bankrupt, and I guess because I'm the first child, so there's more responsibility that falls onto me, coming from like a traditional Latino family. So I went back to help out, and Seabass, he just stayed. He's like, well, I don't have that responsibility. I can
You
chill.
gotta go
I
take
guess.
care of it.
I can just chill here. So he just chilled, and he never left. Yeah, he's been here since. And after I went back, not long after, 2, 3, maybe 3 years after, my mom decided to move, to come visit Seabass.
Okay.
So she
not to move, just to go.
just to come check it out,
go
see
see
my
him.
brother, because my brother didn't go to Colombia to see us. So
Right.
my mom was like, "Well, I have to see my son. It's been a while."
Right.
So my mom came, and when she came, she loved it as well, and decided like, "I'm also."
And that was her
moving
first
here."
time, right?
And it was her first time. Well, she came with that like short trip in
The family trip?
2007, yeah, but never thought about staying.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2000 and what, 11, I guess 2012, she moved to China with the youngest, who was Alejandro, who was really young. He was a little kid.
Yeah,
So of course
I remember when I met him.
yeah,
you
so
know?
of course he was gonna be with my mom, and yeah, and I and after that Dante Luisma also moved to China.
Dude, I was, like, I was just trying to think, like,
Yeah.
I was thinking about you and the podcast, and I was like, I remember there were 4 brothers,
Yeah.
but I couldn't fucking think
Yeah,
of
remember the
Dante.
name. Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like I knew there was Seabass. I knew the youngest one was a dancer. Because he used to come a lot to the hip hop parties we used to throw. With all his little dance friends and shit like that. You know,
Yeah.
and I was like, who am I missing?
Yeah.
But it's Dante.
Yeah.
So, you guys were all like the. I mean, you're like, I think like out of like all the people I met in Shenzhen over like the 10 years, you guys are like the only kind of like big adult family.
Right, true.
You
Not
know?
many families like that are here.
Like my brother's here, my other brother, my mom.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
what? So,
That's true. Yeah, not many big families move like to China like that. So it made it easy for me to also move back. I never thought I would move back to China, but around 2014, my mom was like, "You should come visit us. Like it's been years, we haven't seen each other."
right.
And I thought about it. At the beginning, I was like a bit like, "Nah, I'm doing well here, and it's far and expensive to go all the way to China from
And
Colombia."
you're in Colombia at the time.
Yeah. And it's not like I had a lot of money because I was just working as like an independent musician and in a third world country, So I was like barely just like surviving, So to spend like $2,000 to.
And that would be like no offense, but that's like kind of like the bottom of the barrel fucking job.
Yeah, it is the bottom. Yeah, for
unless
like
you're like a recording star,
yeah,
or like
unless
famous.
You're lucky, you got really good connections, and
you're playing like coffee shops and
but
beach
me, it was
parties.
super chill. Yeah, I was like growing up, like my community was like punks and hippies and artists.
Right.
So I was making little money, like independent festivals, and it was very little money. So that was fun to. Well, it was actually a bit complicated for me to move, because I was a bit like, I'm actually just starting this here in Colombia, and I need time to build this career here. But in that time, I had a partner that I was living with, girlfriend, and she was more like, no, we really should go. Like, I really want to get out of Colombia and check out China. So that kind of like, put things in a different perspective. Like, okay, let's go.
Go try it out.
Yeah, try it out. Why not? And then we moved here, and then I quickly felt again super comfortable, because I remembered my time in 2008, and it was like a dream for me. Life in China when I was like 19, 20, everything was amazing. I had such a good time.
Right.
So to come back, I didn't know what to expect.
What year was this?
2014.
2014. Okay.
Yeah, and then
so this is like when I was like starting to, kind of like the party scene was like starting
just
to come
starting
alive.
to come alive. Yeah, it was Kana and Sebastian and Jesse. And
the real deal. Yeah,
White Cat,
Jesse had his bar.
Yeah, Music Box and White Cat with.
White Cat.
Yeah.
That's White Cat's what got me into doing parties.
Yeah. So that I arrived just in that moment,
right.
And it was easy for me to continue my career here because of my brothers, because Seabass and Dante, they were all connected with everyone who was throwing parties. They were very close to all of these people. So
were you DJing before?
Yeah. So I was mostly working with bands in Colombia,
like playing instruments and singing or whatever,
like live music, but then I. By the end, the last 2 years of being in Bogota in Colombia, I started to DJ. And when I moved here to China, I decided just to focus on that. I did because I think the last band I had in Colombia was a bit of a rough breakup. We had a bit like dramatic experience with the rest of the band members.
Because of you leaving?
No, mostly
Or
because
just-
of ego clashes
Sure.
and ignorance and immaturity and and people like rushing to make money and some others like me just like, no, I just want to enjoy the journey of making music.
Right.
And I was like, no, we need to like get the money now. So it was a weird situation to be in. And so I just like, hey, it's easier if I just focus on being a DJ. I don't have to deal with like 5, 6, 7 people.
Right,
every
7
day.
egos,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
who's in
Just
the
me.
bad mood,
Yeah.
who's on their period this day.
Exactly.
You know?
So it was easier, and I focused on that. And everyone here was very supportive when I arrived because they knew my brothers, and so they were supportive of me. And I started to get gigs and quickly establish myself. For me, it was actually I felt like it was very easy thanks to my brothers. Yeah.
And that was such a fun time. That was like honestly like during that like era, that was like for me that was like the best party times, you know,
It was a lot of fun.
of Shenzhen.
There was a lot of freedom and
So much you could get away with doing so many different things, you know, and not have to worry.
yeah, not have to worry about much.
You know, that all changed later.
Yeah.
You know, but during that time it was just like
Yeah.
you know it's like almost like you could do anything and you kind of felt invincible, you know.
Yeah, and everyone would like support it, and,
Yeah.
and a lot of people would like show up and help out and buy tickets. And
Right. You know, like I
so-
remember like the first White Cap party because I wasn't much like, to be honest, like I was never really a party person like before I came to China, and I didn't drink much. You know, like maybe like once a month or once every 2 months I'd go to a bar.
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah.
but it was very like, I mean, I had other vices that I
Yeah.
was into.
Yeah.
You know, but as far as like drinking and partying, it wasn't really you know, I'd rather go to like a live music show, go see. I mean, I was living in San Francisco, so you always, you know, go see Ben Harper
Yeah,
or
so
go
much stuff
see
to do.
Spearhead,
Yeah.
you know, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, when I came to China, I was just like, you know, like fuck, like
Now what? What do I
no,
do?
you know, like what's your you know, your activities,
Yeah.
you know, parties,
Yeah.
you know, especially
Yeah.
back then. I think now there's more culture here.
Yeah,
You know, there's like they built theaters and there's
Yeah.
more like,
Now there's B10 pretty established.
you know, yeah,
and-
B10. There's
yeah.
music halls.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much more
Yeah.
from 10 years
true.
ago. You know, so. But then like I met the White Cap guys because they needed like a logo, so I helped them design the cat.
Okay.
you
Yeah,
know?
Yeah.
And so I started like, yeah, they come to our party. I'm like, okay, so. I went to their first party, which was like in this like tiny abandoned house.
Okay.
Oh,
I saw a
by-
video of that. Yeah.
By the, I don't think there was maybe like phone
Someone
video.
made like a little short,
You know?
little, yeah.
But it was like, I mean, literally, like the house was like the size of like, you know, like this was one room and there's
Yeah.
like another room,
Yeah.
you know, a little bit bigger, right?
Yeah.
But like maybe like half my office
Yeah.
was like the whole building,
Yeah.
you know, and like it was nothing, right? It was like this like dark path that you had to like go up to, you know. It was just like fuck, this is cool,
Yeah.
you know.
I love that.
And then like there was like a little trail where people would disappear to and then come back, you know, a little bit later. And it was just like, man, this is dope, you know,
Fun.
cool music. And I probably met your brother there.
Yeah,
You know,
probably.
like Seabass was the first brother I met
Mm-hmm.
out of the crew. And then later I met Dante
Yeah.
because he was hanging out with Sophisticate a lot.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and they would go to like David's house.
Yeah.
You know, do their thing and
Yeah,
play music.
Play
And
music, yeah.
David always had like the DJ rack
The
set
decks,
up, you know,
yeah.
so they were always like, you know, learning, you know, so. But yeah, those were like that time, like that probably like that 2 years is
Yeah.
like probably like looking back at like my history in Shenzhen
Yeah.
is probably like the funnest,
Yeah. Nice.
you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I have a lot of good memories through the years, but like,
Yeah.
Those were like special. You know, they have like a special like I'll be old and be fucking thinking about
Yeah.
you know those times. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I also had a lot of fun those years. A lot of fun.
cheers, man.
Cheers, man.
So do you remember like the first time you DJ'd a party in Shenzhen?
I have a memory of
Because when I first started like being around that scene,
yeah.
I don't think you were. Maybe you were active, but you were not like hitting like the big parties yet.
Yeah, I was doing mostly Baya and just Baya every Thursday, Friday, Saturday in SeaWorld, and occasionally would play in somewhere different. But the first gig I think I have a memory. Either it was with David from
The White Cat.
White Cat. He invited me to play in Lohu in this big Chinese club.
Oh yeah, it was like next to like I think like the Louis Vuitton Mixie.
Yes, exactly. And it was kind of like a restaurant and club.
Yeah, it was such a weird place for making parties. You
so
know?
I did that. But I think also it could have been a gig I got in Old Garden.
Okay.
Yeah, when Manan and
all right.
Who else was there?
Brandon.
And Brandon were there. Yeah. So they invited me and I played there. I think that was my first proper gig. And it was a pretty interesting night because there was a fight and all, like in the middle of my set, between a girl and some Chinese dudes, some foreigner girl and some Chinese dudes. They threw like glass cups to each other. Wow, it was very intense. It was,
and you were just playing.
I was trying to like focus and play, but also try to like
make sure there's no glass falling at your head.
Wow, it was and then I ended up like kissing, like making out with that girl, like in the DJ booth.
The same one that got into the fight.
Yeah, the same. Like during the extension of 10 minutes, it all happened. You know, it was like this is a pretty intense first gig in China.
Welcome to Coco Park.
Yeah, welcome to Coco Park. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think like that kind of thing probably happens too often in Coco Park.
Yeah.
You know, the fighting, the kissing, and whatever else debauchery happens. Yeah. You know, I definitely, me and my friends had many crazy moments, you know, there.
Yeah.
So,
I think everyone who's been in Coco Park for a few nights can,
Yeah. I can imagine like some people. Like you're DJing there regularly now, right? Like
now,
on the weekends.
Yeah.
Oh man, like, and you're doing like the closing shift.
Yeah.
So that's when like people are like the most sloppy.
Yeah, for
you know, fucking gone. You get to watch, especially like where favela is located.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they're dragging out all the dead bodies. You know, like
every night I
3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, just like take them one by one, just
carrying bodies, dragging them.
Right.
Oh
you know, or people are yelling and screaming. You know. So,
I know. Yeah. Every night I go, it's that same story.
Same story. It has. I mean, it's probably every night. You know, it's like
it's crazy.
It's an every night thing over there.
What a debauchery, really.
So
yeah.
I mean, it's the. I mean, if you want to go to clubs, you know, and you don't want to go to like one of those gigantic Chinese style gymnasiums, it's the best place to go.
It is. It is a pretty safe option because there's guaranteed crowd and there's a guaranteed different bars that are full open with their own music, their own crowds, and you get to choose and jump.
Yeah, that's so that you can switch. You know, spend 30 minutes here, spend 30 minutes over there.
Yeah,
make some new friends. Finds. You know, oh, what are you doing here?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, you can meet a lot of friendly people. A lot of people are like very willing to connect.
Yeah, I mean like some of the. Met some amazing people out of there, and just some random like crossing each other in the hallway. Right?
It's true. Yeah, just be careful with the quality of the alcohol. But
I try to stick to bottled beer.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know if that's safe.
Who knows?
You know, but like,
but I guess
the Corona. You know, I think
should be safer.
should be okay.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
at least hopefully it's beer, but like you can definitely go much more wrong with some kind of dirty
Yeah.
spirit.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Especially
so,
the most popular bottles. Those are like get I think the worst.
for sure.
Quality. Yeah.
You know, for sure.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about this particular brand is that like there's been days where like on this podcast or just at joining events that he's at and
Yeah.
just pounded it, drank so much, and then next morning
Feel
if I just stick to this,
Yeah.
I feel great
You'll
in the
be all
morning.
right,
You know,
yeah.
I'm tired, yes, hungover, no.
No. Yeah.
You know,
That's
just
quality.
that's quality, and that's what he like. He is like very into making sure.
Mm.
You
It's
know,
pure.
it's pure. You know,
Exactly.
which you don't really. It's risky in Kogo Park. You
It
know,
is. You don't never know what's gonna be mixed in or like.
you know, and the thing is, it's not even like it's not even like the fault of the bar.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes they don't even know because they can't
You know?
they can't open every bottle and check.
Yeah, it's like you know, like what some guy told me is like it's all about the supply chain.
Yes.
You know, so like it comes through customs.
Yeah.
You know, and then somebody takes a case and swaps the case,
Yeah.
and then it goes to a truck, and somebody takes the case and swaps the case,
Exactly.
and then it goes to a warehouse, and
Yeah.
then somebody swaps it out.
It's a
and
long
then,
journey. It passes through a
You
lot of
know?
hands. Yeah.
and then finally, when you end up at the bar,
Yeah.
you have no idea, like
Yeah. What you're
You
getting
know.
finally. Yeah.
so. But
Be
yeah,
careful.
gotta be careful. Yeah.
Try to stay safe.
Yeah, dude, don't drink too much.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. For me, it was a hard lesson as well from at the beginning of like working as a musician, especially in Colombia. There's so much temptations to do anything, to have so much fun with any kind of
Substance. Yeah.
and environment, and it's also available. It's so easy. So my first year of working as a like full-time musician and DJ was letting myself like understand that and like try things and see what is happening, what are my limits, and seeing how quickly I can fall into certain
Right.
temptations and how bad the effects could be. So by the time I was in China, I had already learned a lot of like strong lessons, and for me, it helped me out a lot to be able to be stable, work almost every night as a DJ,
And be able to wake up in the
and
morning.
be healthy
You
to
know?
a certain extent, you know. Yeah, okay, I'm staying up late, so that's not great, but at least, you know, I'm not getting wasted and I'm not, you know, like draining out my vital energy. every
Right.
night.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
You know.
Otherwise, yeah, you just don't work well. You kind of like show up at work, at the club, like feeling bad, feeling
Yeah, like it's an
uncomfortable.
all day thing.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly.
And then you drink some more, you
Yeah.
feel a little bit better.
And then the
You know?
cycle continues.
And then like the most important parts of the day, you feel like shit.
Yeah.
You know.
exactly.
So
So
yeah, you gotta. It's not everybody can find that balance, you know. And it's definitely like, you know, for me too. Like like I said earlier, like I didn't drink so much, you know, when I was living in the U.S. You know, like I definitely like to smoke, but I wasn't like a drinker.
Yeah.
You know, so and here it was just like switched. You know,
yeah.
like
Focus on the booze.
one wasn't available.
Yeah.
And this was,
Yeah.
you know, and you just got to make sure, like, temptation doesn't become a habit,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
and it's so easy to, you know, to do.
Fall
And,
into habits.
and then when we were like, and especially like, you know, like my life is definitely more calm now, but like when we were doing like the Shady Monkey parties,
Yeah.
you know, like there was like a good 3 years where we were like kind of like the kings of the city.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like everywhere
The
we'd
most
go,
popular party.
you know, people would want to drink with us.
Yeah.
You know, we were going out like several nights a week,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
fucking getting smashed, coming
Yeah.
home at fucking who knows what time,
Yeah.
you know, fucking come home and it's like my kids are waking up in the morning, you know, the sun's already shining, you know, it's like, holy shit, you know. Good times, you
Good
know,
times for sure.
but definitely don't want it to be, you know, a lasting part of your life. You know, I'm very happy for the years that I had,
Yeah.
and I'm very happy that it ended.
That it ended.
You
Yeah.
know?
That's great. There's got to
So,
be
like,
some balance in life.
and it didn't end in a bad way like other people or other groups.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of ended. You know,
So
right?
typical. It's so typical.
You know, because it did. Like some people really got fucked.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like the Psych Tribe boys.
Yeah.
They got super fucked.
really
You know, the Real Deal made fucking international news.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so, and we were able to just kind of like.
Yeah. Just
You know,
slowly
we're done.
disintegrate
You know,
easier.
just
Yeah.
move on.
Move on.
You know, like
On your own account.
yeah, and just like
Yeah.
still have like the end with no bad memories.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
right.
and no abruption.
Exactly.
You know, so
Very lucky.
so
Yeah.
and so it's very
Pretty
it was-
blessed.
yeah, it's good. And like we made tons of videos, and you know, one day when I'm old, I'll be able to show my your grandfather used to make the best hip hop
Yeah.
parties in China.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
you know, which is the weird thing because like I'd never had any intention,
Yeah.
you know, to make parties,
Yeah.
you know, or do anything related to parties.
Yeah.
It was like
It just happened.
it just happened,
organically.
like because I was talking to the White Cap Boys. You got a little bit of a seed on your chin.
Oh yeah.
There was the White Cap Boys, right? So I grew up in Los Angeles, like I said, right?
Yeah.
So hip hop was like the music of Los Angeles, you know, in the 80s and the 90s, you know, and that's what I fucking experienced. And like
Yeah.
the first tape that my dad bought me,
Yeah.
you know, was like a hip hop tape.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like for the soundtrack to the movie Colors,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
and came to Shenzhen
Mm-hmm.
and there's zero.
Yeah.
No one was playing it.
Yeah.
Jesse, I think, was playing it sometimes with
Yeah.
his, you know, with his trance and his drum and bass
Mixing
stuff.
it all up.
Mixing it all, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But there was no, like, not even the clubs would touch it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like zero.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, and I was talking to Dave from White Cat, and I was like, Dave, you ever think about doing a hip hop party?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I hate hip hop music. And I was like, really? It's like such a great, you know, great style of music,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So many stories and lyrics and emotions and
Yeah.
beats, and people love it.
Of course.
Like, no, I don't like it. You know, like I like more hard whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, man, you should make a hip hop party. He's like, no. He's like, but if you want to make a party,
Yeah.
like you can use my equipment. I can help
Okay.
you with the venue.
Nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll try.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, why not?
Why
You know,
not?
so. And the first party, it was like 10 people.
Yeah.
You know, like nobody.
Starting out.
You know, but the second party was
Yeah.
at that weird place that you played with Dave at the restaurant
Oh,
bar
okay. Yeah. At the
in
restaurant
Lohu.
bar. Yeah.
That was
yeah.
the second one. They had like 75 people.
Nice. Nice.
You know, so it was a nice jump from like 10.
Yes. Good
You know, it was
jump.
like, oh, somebody's making a hip hop party.
Yeah.
You know, and then the third party was like 250, 300 people at Public,
Good
which
jump.
is a fucking tiny ass place.
Yes.
You know,
And public is a great spot because the owner is fully supportive.
and they're great. Yeah, it's a hip. I mean,
It's a hip hop.
they're hip. The guys that were working there were rappers.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
behind the bar. You know, so.
That's great.
And then like, just because we were doing stuff with hip hop, we met like people who were organizing like hip hop, you know, events and
The
b
local
boys. The local, we got connected,
Yeah.
right? And that was kind of the
scene, the start of it
the
all.
push, and then that's
Yeah.
when clubs started to be like, and you know, the most important thing, which I think everybody ignored, who was doing the parties, you know, is like. When I saw that there was a big crowds, I was like, I need to buy a camera
Yeah.
and I need to film these events
Yeah. Yeah.
because these events are so much fun
Yeah.
and people love it.
Yeah.
Unless people see it, they'll
Yeah.
never believe it.
Yeah. They won't believe it.
And that was a game changer for that pushed us
Yes.
above everybody else. It was like,
course.
I need to get, it doesn't matter what I do at the party.
Yeah.
It's about telling people in between the event, like,
Yes.
did you see the fucking party that just happened?
Yeah.
Fuck, should have been there.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Oh, there's a Shady Monkey party coming.
Yeah.
Did you see the fucking last party we did?
Yeah,
Right? You know, it was
exactly.
just like, you need that, you know?
You need that.
And Jesse wasn't doing it. White Cat wasn't doing it. You know, the Real Deal wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
You know, which Real Deal, like, they shouldn't do it because they were doing something
Yeah.
special,
Special,
you know? But like all these other people, you know, it was like,
Yeah.
you know, and I think I was the only one that came at that time was like as a, not a party organizer, but as like a a designer brander.
Yes.
You know, and that was my mentality. I wasn't a DJ. I was not a fucking MC.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly. Very important.
It was just like how do you connect with the people? That,
Exactly.
You know, the party is the party.
Yeah.
You know, but the most important thing is, having fun at the party is the most important thing. But how do you get people to come? And,
Yeah. Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. Yeah. That's great. I'm glad that you got that and that you connected. Used your talents to do that because it made a huge difference. It makes a huge difference.
It's a huge difference, you know. And
then the more people are interested because they watch some video, then more people come, and then bigger crowd can mean much more fun.
Yeah, and different venues, you know. Also, like, you know, like everyone else was kind of like underground.
Yeah.
And then we kind of went commercial.
Yeah.
We would still like rent places like for our big parties, you know. We want to do like Halloween or whatever, but like at the point where like we were getting calls from Guangzhou and Shenzhen, like, how much to make a party? Yeah. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
This is the dollar sign, you know?
Yeah.
Fucking pay us, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So instead of having to worry, so we didn't have to worry about like sales tickets and fucking, you know, like, oh, I only made like sold 50 tickets or 100 tickets, you know, but my cost was blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You know, it's just like, we got to that, you know, it was nice to be at that point, you know?
Yeah.
Just like,
that's a really nice point to be.
You know, just like we just show up. Have fun. Mm-hmm. Mafia knows what he's doing. Skiz knows what he's doing. I know what I'm doing. Yeah. You know, it's a fucking dynamic team. And that was the thing is like, I think like the personalities of the three of us, you know, we were not liked by everybody. Yeah. You know, we were definitely had, you know, all strong personalities.
Yeah, strong personalities.
You know, like Mafia was definitely like, he's a fucking amazing DJ. Yeah. You know, amazing music lover. Like his like reggae dub collection is probably the best I've seen in the world. You know, but a fucking arrogant bullheaded motherfucker, you know. But it worked, you know, like for us, for me, you know, and Skiz and the three kind of brothers, you know, it was like a perfect click, you know. Didn't matter what people said or what bullshit we had to deal with the outside, like, you know, for us it was good, you know.
Yeah, I like that. I always thought it was an interesting trio.
You know?
Crazy personalities working
It
together.
was, you know, like it was fun, man. So I remember like at one point like Mafia had like some beef with you, and I think it was related to Baya. I mean,
maybe.
You're like, oh, this fucking Esteban guy, like he's playing at the Baya party, you know. I was like, holy fuck, you know. Like,
usually I'm very like, I don't even realize.
You're so chill, man. Like you're so like.
I don't even know when people are angry with me.
You're like, I mean, seriously, you're like the most like humble, like laid back, just like peaceful. But Mafia's not. I mean, he's like very like, you fucking look at him wrong, and he's like, ready, you know. If he had too much tequila, he's, you know, he'll fucking run across the bar and, you know.
I have a lot of friends like that. Yeah.
You know? Yeah, man. So, but it was fucking good, man.
Yeah, so good. Good times. Too,
good times, dude.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And so, like, during this time, like, you were just doing DJ work?
Yeah.
Like, so, like, all these parties were, like, banging out. You're not doing like trading.
No.
I know a lot of people like
had a lot of side like businesses, like different.
Or even just like, you know, English teacher by day, fucking Coco Parker DJ by night.
Yeah, right. You know? People did that. I was lucky. Well, lucky and in a bit like just focused. Like I didn't want to do anything else because I don't know. I never feel called to. Like I never felt called to teach, you know. I tried it. I think I tried it a few times, but then I would get bored really quick with institution stuff, you know. Like I love teaching people stuff, but the institutions, I can't deal with it. And business, I don't know. I've never thought about it. Never been curious about selling like products and. I don't know.
I can give you 300,000 hair combs, you know?
I don't know. I feel like, what am I doing? Inside of me is like, what am I doing?
Right.
What is this
for?
for?
Some people it's very natural, you know? Some of it's, you know, if it's not your fucking...
Yeah. But I did become, because I was focused just in the DJ business, which, I'm selling, branding myself, and a service to the people. So it's a business for sure. I was so focused on that it allowed me to really quickly learn a lot and have a lot of energy and time to just put on that one single business. And so I think that's helped me expand and create like a very strong network really fast, especially in China. Not only because my brothers helped me out, that the first steps were taken care of thanks to my brothers, and then the rest of the steps I made sure that I quickly went through them, like focusing every day, 24/7 on my playlists, my DJ sets, the music and the network and the contacting people to do like freelance DJ work or trying to get residencies or and that really, there was a point where I was not even DJing myself, but I had like a crew of DJs that were starting out.
Like an agent kind of?
I became kind of like
DJ agent?
the middleman. And some bars were like, hey, can we pay you and you just take care of all the music here in this bar? So I would make playlists so they could play during the day or whenever there's no DJ. And when they need a DJ, I would hire DJs for them. And they just give me like a nice salary every month, and I'm just there at home just messaging, hey, you have a gig, show up at this bar in this address at 10 p.m. And then it was easy. And then come back the next day with my laptop and install some nice playlists for while there are no DJs.
Yeah, like the coffee hour, the evening hour.
Exactly.
You know?
And it was just very comfortable. It got to a point where I was just like chilling in my house, checking out new music, playing video games, and just receiving money from different places.
Yeah, it's nice, dude.
Yeah, and that was really nice. But of course, I do prefer to be, like I DJ because I love the connection with people, like the moment, sharing that beautiful, like ecstatic moment of like being there, dancing, cheerful, and joining with a bunch of strangers.
I mean, like
friends.
a sign of happiness is dancing.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like very, very, and some weird culture rituals, you know, will do like sorrow dancing.
Yes.
But most of the dancing in the world, you know,
it's a celebration.
It's a celebration of joy, of, you know, triumph.
Celebrating life or whatever is happening.
Happiness.
Yeah.
Joy.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and I love that so much. So for me, like I always want to be part of that. It gives me so much like satisfaction. Like I go to bed so happy and I wake up so happy knowing that, wow, last night we were so like joyful and excited and connected and made friends and you know, connected, just like the human connection. It was like very satisfying for me. So I can feed off that forever. There's never enough. I can always, every night, just do that and feel so happy about it.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things like I regret is that when I was doing the parties, is I didn't take the opportunity to learn how to DJ, you know? And maybe it was a good thing because I was able to focus on
your craft.
On my craft, you know, and not be distracted.
Yeah.
You know, but like I always think like, fuck, like, you know, there's always like, the DJ is like the hero. It's like the hero of the party, you know? It's like, you know, all the girls are talking to him, you know, everyone's cheering with. It's like, fuck, like that guy, you know, like
some kind of rock star,
you know, like he was fucking, you know, and it's good. Like, so like even like my own parties, right? Like, fuck, all the girls are going for Mafia. All the girls are going for Skiz. You know, nobody, you know, unless like they were my friend or people knew. Nobody knows who the fuck I am. You know?
Yeah, performers have that
you
shine.
know?
Like they really shine, you know, and people get so
that attraction, you know, the draw,
this light, you know, this shiny person on stage showing themselves with no fear.
Right.
It really is But I think for me, it also that's helped me out because I was a very shy person, young, as a kid. I was very, very shy as a kid. So when I got into my first band to start to play music, to be on a stage was so uncomfortable for me. I was so nervous, so stressed, so anxious. I did not enjoy my first gigs at all. They were hell. But with time, I realized that it allowed me to come out a bit, to like start to learn to be able to be more sociable, to more outspoken, more like to show myself freely without any like fear of judgment.
Sure.
And that, I think that really helped me to grow as a person, to understand myself as a person, to be able to connect more with society, with humans, you know?
Sure.
And I think now I'm just really now hooked on that, like to be able to be that. Because I do spend a lot of time alone by myself in my house, you know, during the day or walking around. I'm just by myself. But at night or when there's a gig, there's a party, and I get to hang out, I can really show myself, you know, and really express and dance and look at people in their eyes and smile and hug them. And it feels like a really nice balance, something I need.
Right.
So maybe also because I'm Latino and we grew up with this.
Kind of like family environment,
Yeah,
you know?
it starts with the family.
Right.
And
Social environment.
Exactly.
So, I mean, yeah, like, and it's good, like, you know, a lot of like, you know, like I said before, like you're a very like humble person, you know, and very soft-spoken person. I've never seen you like angry. I've never seen you like talk shit about anybody or have some kind of like ego conflict. You know, I've definitely seen that in some of my closest friends. You know, but for you, like you're always, you know. But I see that, you know, you see that in DJs. You know, it's like, oh, I'm the fucking, I'm the DJ, I'm the man.
Happens
you know?
with performers a lot.
You know, like fuck, like I don't have time for you.
Yeah, that happens with
You know,
performers
like,
a lot.
Yeah, it's
I think they take themselves too seriously.
power corrupts.
Yeah,
you know,
power.
that is like a small form of
Exactly.
you know, for that space and that, you know, environment.
Yes.
They are a powerful,
Yes.
you know, individual.
Yes. Very. Yeah. That's a crazy topic.
I'm making him try some of the limoncello from Oriental Distilling Company.
I like it.
He's a big lemon person. He's been eating all these lemons.
I got all the lemons there.
So it's good. I'm also a huge lemon person. What'd you think?
Yeah. With a little bit of lime sprinkled, feels really good.
I think for me, like, you know, normally, like, we were talking, like, the limoncellos are a little bit too sweet.
Yeah.
So, like, take some fresh lemon juice.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, some soda water.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
For sure.
Put that in, boom, you have, like, with ice. I love everything with ice. So.
Yeah, right now it feels really good.
You like it?
Yeah.
It's
I
good.
like it.
Take one home.
Thanks.
Enjoy it.
I will.
With your friends and family or
yes,
whatever.
I definitely will.
It's back up there.
But yeah, the what you were saying about like, I guess performers, they realize that they get all this attention, and sometimes they take themselves too seriously and they start to identify too much.
Yes,
this, you know, with this persona or character or this career or this hobby or whatever, this activity they're doing. And then quickly it becomes an issue, a problem for people's growth and people's relationships.
Ego, like, it blinds people.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's really like, I think one of the most hurtful, if you have an ego problem, it's one of the most hurtful, like, self-inflicted poisons.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly.
That totally, like, changes your view on how you relate to people, how you relate to situations,
yes,
how you feel about yourself,
yes,
understanding the truth.
exactly.
You know? It's like,
because then you're just, when the ego, I feel like, is out of balance, then you're just always in defense mode. You're just defensive all the time. So you're all the time, you won't be able to accept things as they are, you know? You just always want to fight things, and it's always a tension if you don't like something, instead of just allowing things and accepting things how they might be,
right.
even if it's not the way you want things to be. And I've had a hard time dealing with it, because I guess in my growing up, there was I grew up with also very unbalanced ego, and I realized that was my defense mechanism, and I would hide behind my ego and believe things like, oh, I know more than these other people, I know better, I'm a better person, I'm more valuable,
more talented, or whatever the fuck
all
it
these
is, you
things.
know.
And for me, a little bit of introspection and psychedelic therapy really showed me like, I'm so wrong. Why am I taking myself so seriously?
Right.
I'm just caught up in some very toxic loops in my brain, in my mind, in my thoughts. And that allowed me to start to like unlearn all these toxic traits and loops and thoughts, and to really embrace humbleness fully and embody it. And it's not easy. It's not something you just like do like that.
No, I think, self-change is like one of those hardest things in the world, you know?
Yeah, because you're fighting your own instinct to defend yourself from being hurt, from like animosity from people. And you're all and you're like, the first instinct is like, no, you're like less, you don't know, you're ignorant, so don't tell me what to do. You don't
Also,
tell me
too,
what.
just dealing with the realities of your, like of your own abilities, and like you may think you're the best DJ or the best designer or the best musician, but like, and that's what's fucking in your head, right?
Yeah.
Or what I'm not just using as an example, you know?
As an example.
But like, but if you don't fucking just have some humility and like, actually, like I'm not,
Yes.
like,
Exactly.
and it's not like I'm better than these people. Like, fuck, I probably have something to learn from these people.
Yes,
you
exactly.
know, like
Exactly.
So
that helped me a lot in my DJ career, actually, to establish myself, especially in a foreign country, in a foreign land, foreign culture, because I am here bringing what I've learned as someone that comes from North and South America, the music there, the culture there, and I come to show it to Chinese people, to express myself in that way with these musical tastes that I have, that I bring. But Chinese, the people here, there's a big diversity. There's Arabs and West Africans, South Africans, there's Europeans, there's Southeast Asians, all kinds of people live here. And they come to the club and they expect to be satisfied as well.
Right.
That you also fulfill whatever they want and desire from a dance or from a party. And so I can't just be stuck in like, well, I only know like Western music and I only know hip hop and house and jazz and R&B, whatever. No, a lot of people are like, okay, do you have some Bhangra, my friend?
right.
And the first time I was like, I don't even know.
Bhangra?
What is this, Bhangra? And if I would have been caught up in my ego, I would like, well, I don't care because this is what I do and that's it.
I don't take requests.
Yeah, I don't take requests and there's no flexibility in me, basically. That's what would have happened. But I was like, okay, I don't have it right now.
But what is it?
But tomorrow, I'm going to investigate and I'm going to spend the next few weeks checking out all the Bhangra music I can find online. And find all the bangers that I resonate with. And I'm going to make a playlist. And then next time I see a crew of people asking for Bhangra, I'm going to have some bangers for you guys.
Right.
And we're going to be happy, all of us. They're going to be smiling and jumping and dancing. And I'll be happy because we're all, it's very sticky feelings, excitement.
Yeah, the joy both goes both ways.
Exactly. It's a loop. It's like projection, reflection. So it's allowed me to like really expand my music collection, and I've been able to play in different scenarios or venues and events that at the beginning I had no idea that I would not have been able if I was not flexible, if I was caught up in my ego. So now I love Bhangra music.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I love so many different Bollywood songs from different eras. I love, thanks to the South African community and West African community, I love Amapiano and Afro pop music. Really in love with it, completely in love with it. Thanks to the Arab community, I love all like the music from Morocco, like the folklore and the modern pop music, the Rai and all this stuff. And
well, that's what I mean. Like, I was just thinking, like, the thought that just came in my head, like, one of the coolest things about living here in Shenzhen and probably any big city in China is that when I was living in the U.S. and probably you experienced the same things living in different places that you lived, right?
Yeah.
There's many different in the Los Angeles, for example, or San Francisco. There's many different cultures, right? But they're all American.
Yeah.
and a lot of times they don't mix.
Yeah. Right.
You know, the Chinese hang out with the Chinese, the
Yes.
Japanese hang out. I mean, there is some interact, but here in Shenzhen, they're all from those countries.
Yeah.
You know, they're not like all Chinese American or Japanese American or whatever,
Yeah.
right? They're all from the countries. We're all here together.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's peaceful.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and everybody has, you know, goodwill, good
Yes.
intentions to each other. It doesn't matter you're from Middle East, Africa, you know, Europe, Asia.
Yes.
You know,
Exactly.
and it's probably like in all the places in the world, because China does so much business and attracts
Yes.
countries
everyone.
from everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a very unique thing about living here.
Yeah.
Is that it's a and plus being foreigners,
Yeah.
you know, automatically like it's like you're drawn to each other. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you're from Africa or Russia
Yeah.
or wherever, right?
Yeah.
You're automatically like drawn together and kind of like in, you know, in the same community.
Yeah.
And through that, you get to experience, like you said, Indian music,
Yeah.
you know, South African music,
Yeah. Yeah.
and wherever else like
Yeah.
you've experienced or you know played for people
Yeah.
and the people that you've met. You know, it's a very
Yeah.
kind of like a. I don't want to say melting pot, but like it's like a definitely like a beautiful you know soup of cultures and a
Yeah.
real cultures, not like I was saying before, like where it's like this Chinese person living in America the whole life.
Mhm.
It's like it's a real African, you know,
Yeah.
that's here, you know,
Yeah.
and a real Japanese and a real
Yes.
Colombian.
Exactly. Someone
you know?
who's that's his first trip out of their country,
Right.
and they just started a business, and it's their first year in Asia, in China, in Shenzhen, and they just bring their full life and culture
Yeah.
to you, and they want to show it to you, excited.
You know,
so
like
I'm
before I lived here, right?
yeah,
Maybe I had like one foreigner friend,
yeah,
you know, from another country.
yeah.
And now you have dozens,
Everybody,
dozens,
yeah.
everybody,
Everyone,
you know.
yeah, almost
It's so,
everyone.
you know, it's such a cool thing about, you know,
Yeah.
being here.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love it so much. Yeah, especially I think because Colombia gives you a taste of that, because Colombia is a bit quite of a mix of people, and you can still see that how that, like when you go out to a party in Colombia, most parties will be a style of, there's a DJ who play a style called crossover. And these DJs are known to mix everything during the night, all styles, all eras, and in different languages, and it'll be played one after the other. It's the standard for like going out. You grow up with this kind of DJ sets, so it gave me a taste to like understand that a mix of music of different styles, different eras, different cultures is great to have fun and for everyone to enjoy and have a good party, old, young people, everyone together. So when I came here, I just had to expand on that. Like, okay, that's great. In Colombia, we mix like vallenatos and salsas and dance hall and reggaeton and cumbias and electronic music and rock, hip hop. But here it's like, okay, I got that, but no, now I need to understand Afro pop and Amapiano and Bhangra and Bollywood and city pop and Hong Kong disco and mix it all up. Because finally, I want to make everyone happy. I want everyone that shows up, at least they get their like 10, 15 minutes of like
get their
glory
moment,
to get
you know?
their hits.
They get
you
their
know?
moment.
Yeah, exactly. And then everyone is like more satisfied throughout the night, you know? More willing to come back again.
Also,
Yeah.
too, I mean, like when you like go down a musical journey, you know, it's such a new music style. There's like so much discovery and so many, I don't know, new emotions and feelings behind it, you know. And then you start to learn about the characters who made that music, like who made that track,
Yeah.
and who's that amazing
So
voice,
exciting.
you know.
I love that.
And then you follow their story, and
Yeah.
you know, it's just kind of like it opens like portals and portals and portals and portals that
Yeah.
like where do I, you know,
It's infinite.
Where do I want to go?
It's so
Like,
exciting. I love it.
and like I always like try to like, you know, in my office here, like
Yeah.
I try to play like as many different styles of playlist
Yeah.
as I can
Yeah.
for the office, so that these girls,
Yeah.
without knowing it,
Yeah.
can at least like hear,
Yeah.
you know, some reggae,
Yeah.
some hip hop,
Yeah.
some Bollywood,
Yeah.
you know, some Celtic flute,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
some Victorian piano,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Just like let them have, you know, a little bit, you know, music expands the mind,
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
and like I was very like, you know, my father was a huge music lover, and
Yeah.
so always in the house he was playing music. He,
Yeah.
you know, he had the record player, he had the boom box, he always had the latest kind of stereo, you know,
Yeah.
equipment, and he would play everything, you know,
Yeah.
from, you know, the 60s, 50s, 70s, 80s, when hip hop started making its place in the, you know, market or social scene.
Yeah.
We started playing hip hop,
Yeah.
you know, like, you know, grew up listening to everybody, you know. It's like from Prince to Janis Joplin to U2 to the Beatles, from Beck to the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, Prince, you know, James Brown. Like it was always like just a music journey in the house, you know.
Man, that's so good. So blessed to have that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's just like it's now when you hear those songs,
Yeah.
you have those memories. Like,
Yeah.
you know, remember just being.
Oh yeah.
You know,
and that's such a crazy. I always try to aim to do that, to get people to hit their soft spots with the memories. Play songs that I think they might recognize from growing up, and that always helps so much. And I think I remember, like, Mafia also did a really good job doing that. He would play so many good classic hip hop dance hall songs that I grew up with, that the emotions are so strong. They come out so strong, you know. The excitement to hear those songs loud and everyone happy and dancing to them, these old songs. So I always try to like focus on that, and it makes a huge difference for me. As a DJ, it made a huge difference when I can have in my crates and my playlists a bunch of old bangers, and when I played them at the right moment, the right time, and the right slot, it would just change the whole environment of the party, of the event. It could like turn it up by 10, you know.
Right.
So
and I think that's like the most important. I mean, to be a good DJ, it's not just about having an amazing playlist of music.
Yeah.
You know, and like some DJs will show up to a party and just be like, "This is my playlist for the night.
Yeah.
Just gonna fucking mow the grass and just play it straight in a row. You know, that's it. I'm done. I'm DJ. You like my music? Fuck you if you don't, right? But a good DJ, you know, I think the having the musical ability and the catalog or the crates, as you said, is important.
Yeah.
But you also need to have the emotional connection with the people.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and if you can't read the emotion that the people are giving you, you know, because it's a two-way street.
It is a conversation.
You know, it's a conversation, and you can kill the conversation. And empty the floor. You know, or like you said, you can take that motherfucker up, you know, 10 levels, and everyone's just like, you know, they all start singing the song or singing the lyrics, you know. It's just like, you know, that's probably like for you, like as a DJ, that's the moments where
blissful,
you know, where it's like, okay, nailed it,
yeah, know? I did a good job tonight.
So, you know,
I like that so much. And it is totally a conversation, and so you always have to keep your eyes open and be looking at the people, trying to read their expressions, their bodies. Even being able to take requests to a certain extent, you know, maybe you don't have the exact song they're looking for or the exact artist, but you can kind of guess like what they're looking for, you know, what kind of feeling they're
what
trying
kind of
to
vibe
reach.
they want to
and you should be able to be flexible to do that. If you're the DJ who really is thinking about the people and trying to satisfy people, then I love that. I'm always willing to like learn about new styles, new songs, new artists.
Yeah, and that's the
So exciting.
where you're saying about Mafia before is that like he literally almost had nothing to do besides DJing.
Yeah.
He had a little bit of a trading business,
Yeah.
but didn't keep him busy that much.
Yeah.
Like he was at his home all day listening to music
Yeah.
or creating beats,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And like he was such a, and his collection was just so amazing. Like, you know, especially like me, like my two favorite styles are like reggae and hip hop,
Yeah.
you know? And those were his two favorite styles. And he had this ridiculous like reggae, you know, collection.
Yeah.
And then he'd always listen to new artists and always listen to so many different stuff. And then I would go to his house and he's like, hey, Shady, like, listen to these beats I made last night.
Yeah.
You know, and he played like 10 beats.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck you have time for 10 beats? You know? But he had never actually made like the full beat.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was probably like 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Just,
know?
starting it. Yeah.
You know? But they were all fucking so good.
Nice.
You know, like almost like I would say like 6, 7 out of 10
Yeah.
were fucking like usable
Yeah.
like tracks
Yeah.
for whatever style of like music you wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they were all just fucking amazing.
Nice.
Of course, need polishing and
Yeah.
refinement.
Of course.
You know, but as just like a just fucking 3 a.m. at night, fucking, you know,
Yeah.
mixing his shit and then just like coming up with that 30 seconds. Then he would watch a YouTube video about this artist and be like, go back to the, you know, it's just like, fuck, man.
That's so
You
fun.
know, and that's what I like. What I loved about him so much too is like, and being like my closest friend DJ, you know, and the closest DJ that's been in my life, right? Was like, I appreciate, you know, the love that he had for music, and that was like first and foremost, you know. It's like he was passionate. You know, it wasn't just about being a DJ. It was about, you know, a deep love for the music, for the words, for the lyrics, for the meaning behind why the song was created, you know, and the personalities who were behind the song. And like I made a book many years ago. It's called like the Reggae Scrapbook, and it was a book about the history of reggae music. You know, and it, like chapter by chapter, like the first chapter started in like the ska days, and then it went on to like the rocksteady days, and then Bob Marley, and then dancehall and shit like that. And the guy I was working with, the author of the book was like, he had the biggest reggae archive in the world.
Okay.
So he started the first reggae radio station in America, and the first reggae magazine in America.
Okay.
Both those don't exist anymore. But during that time when Tosh and Marley were traveling, those were all like in publication, you know. So he wasn't close friends with Marley, although he did follow Marley around. But he was close friends with Tosh, and so I got to spend like a week and a half at this guy's house, just listening to reggae every day,
Nice.
and like working on. We started at the beginning of the book and worked all the way to the end. You know, filling out like, okay, and this time we're talking about whoever, right? Tosh. And then we're finding all the best photos that he had in his archive, articles, merchandise, filling the page up, you know. And then when I met Mafia, it was kind of like took me back to that same feeling I had with this guy, because Mafia was such a fucking reggae head, you know, and he went to Jamaica to make all these fucking dubs. Got to spend time with some of these guys. You know, it's just like, fuck, man, like, you know, it's a rare blessing to find people who truly have love for something that they're doing.
Yes, exactly.
You know, with like full passion. You know, it may not be like how they make their money or whatever, but this is who this defines this person.
True.
You know, it's not how he makes his money, because definitely through making parties and being a DJ, he wasn't paying the bills. But this is, you know, his life purpose.
Exactly.
You know,
It's so beautiful to see that. Yeah.
and it's
Like,
rare. It's such a rare thing. You know,
yeah. Hopefully it'll be less rare with time. People.
it's hard. It's hard, man. It's hard to have that chance. You know, because most people are paying the bills.
Yeah.
You know, need to work some shitty job. You know, and there's so much distraction.
Yeah.
You know, so much illusion.
Yes, illusion.
You know, that people that takes your time away from important things.
Important things. Yeah. I know. I don't know why in my life that lesson or that process of understanding what I really want to do with my time here on this planet, in this body, became such a big deal in my brain as a little kid. Like it was, I don't know why. When I started to be like, when I was a teenager and I was hearing like my friends say, no, I'm gonna study this, I'm gonna go to university, and I'm studying this and that. I want to be a lawyer, I want to be whatever, a teacher. And I guess I had a few friends around where like, I don't give a fuck. I just want to have fun. And I just do what I want to do, whatever I want. And some of them actually did that, some didn't. But that inspired me so much to be able to like decide, living in a third world country, from like a middle class family, to just pursue music without any guarantees at all. You know, I would still like in those first years that I was playing with the bands and learning about music, I would still hear in my family or in my friends like, bro, but okay, that's great. Like, we love that you do that. It's a hobby though. Like, you gotta get serious. Like, they would laugh like, bro, okay, cool, but what are you gonna do with your life? How about life?
Right.
And I'm like, oh yeah, it was such a strong like mentality that I would see all around me that I would not know what to say or do about it. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'll figure it out. You know, I don't know. I'll figure it out. But inside of me, there was always this voice like saying like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want.
Just do what you want to do, man.
And if I end up under a bridge, I don't give a fuck. I'll be happy that way.
Yeah, man. It's hard to find real happiness.
Yeah. So I don't know why, with all that against me, I still did it. and many times I still, like till today, much less than before. Now I have like, okay, a certain amount of savings, so like certain guarantees, like, okay, there's some money there. So I don't have to like worry too much. But even 10 years ago, when I didn't have any savings, I'm like, I'm just doing this.
Right.
And that's it. I'm doing this, what I want to do every day, nonstop, only focus on this. And I've been blessed. And I've been blessed that it's all worked out greatly for me.
Yeah, and it's when you don't have to be concerned about money, or you don't let money bother the way that you think. It makes a road so much more clear for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, like most people grow up like, you need to fucking make money, you need to get a good job, you need to fucking go grind every day and get that fucking salary.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're not making that money,
Yeah.
if you just step back, like, fuck, you know, I want to do something that I love doing.
Yeah.
And through the process of doing what I love, the money will come.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
And that's the most beautiful, that's what the advice that I would tell any young person is when you're young, first thing, travel.
Yeah.
Get as many experiences outside of your bubble as you can.
Yes, exactly.
And find the one thing that you love and do it.
Yeah.
Even if you're poor, even if you fucking have to eat instant noodles every day,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck, just follow that, find that one thing that you want to do in life, that you have passion to do.
Yeah.
Just fucking every day you wake up and drive in that direction.
Yeah.
and you'll have a good life.
Yeah, man.
You know.
Yeah, I can totally say, yeah, that's exactly what I've experienced
You
in
know?
my
It's
life.
kind of is what you kind of just said.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly.
So one thing, like, I've always felt like Shenzhen, you know, it's like a airport city.
Airport
know?
City. Yeah, I say the same thing.
Where like people come and go. You know, like all my good and close friends, you know, are gone mostly.
Yeah.
You know. And you left.
Yeah.
And I was actually like surprised, you know, that
I'm back.
You came back, you know.
Yeah, I'm also surprised.
So like, because usually like, you know, when people leave, it's kind of like, and especially when they spend like a good amount of time here, it's kind of like, I've put in my time. I'm done with this experience. Yeah. And now it's time for the next phase of my life.
Yeah, right.
And I saw you. You were like traveling to a bunch of different countries.
Yeah.
You did some like I think you were DJing in Mexico.
Yeah.
You was like some music festivals and shit like that.
Yeah. I never left actually. That's not how I see it. Like I don't see it as I left China, because when in January 2020 I was on holidays in Bali.
Oh, so you couldn't come back?
I couldn't come back. So until like 2 months ago. I think it was 4 months ago that I heard on the news in some group chat that like, oh, China has opened the borders for people that are on tourist visas.
Excuse me.
No worries. So I thought, okay, I can come back now.
Yeah, it was like April, May around.
Around that time, I saw the news, and I was, I thought of like, wow. And now I'm in Thailand living. I'm right next door.
Right.
I can just hop on an airplane in an hour. I'll be in Shenzhen.
And your mom is still here?
And my mom had already moved back to Shenzhen because she spent some time in Colombia during the pandemic. And then as soon as China allowed people with working visas to come back, she came back.
Okay.
So I'm like, perfect. I'm going to go see my mom, stay with her, visit her, see my brothers who are also in China.
So what brothers are still here?
So Seabass, he never left really. He tried to leave once and went to Colombia for like almost a year or so. It didn't work out for him. It didn't work out. It was actually, he failed dramatically.
I remember when he left. He left with the French girl.
Yeah. He had a French girlfriend. Then he had a huge fight. He lost a lot of the money and investments he had made. So yeah, he was like, well, there's nothing for me here really. Actually, I want to go back to China. So
he's still in Shenzhen?
No. He married and now lives in Hangzhou with the wife.
Chinese wife?
Yeah, Chinese wife. A girl that I met through a gig I got many years ago in Shanghai, and she was promoting events, and she hired me to play at her event. And then I was playing at this other gig in some mountains in Yunnan, some like psychedelic trance festival there. Right. And my brother was living in Dali, in the area at that time. And she sat that night of the festival in the same dinner table with us. And I'm like, oh, you guys should meet. This is Vanessa. This is my brother Seabass. Meet up. And that night, they connected completely. Yeah. They had a full romance that they started that night. And now they're married and they live in Hangzhou. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, because I thought that, I never knew that he came back. Yeah. You know, because before, you know, because like before him and Dante were always kind of the social brothers.
Yeah, very social.
You know? Yeah. I think the youngest brother, Alejandro, was kind of too young.
Too young, yeah.
You know?
He was in school. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was a teenager, you know? And, but those two were always like, you know, when you go to Coco Park, you're always going to see one of them. Yeah. You know, like when there's a party, you're always going to see one of them. Yeah. You know? And then I remember when he went back to Colombia, you know, I secretly, you know, just seeing people's moments. Yeah. You know, like, and then nothing. Yeah. You know, so I thought that he just.
Yeah.
You know.
He did change a lot after that experience in Colombia. He became much more like chill, more quiet.
That's
Want us to
good.
stay at home more.
I think he needed that.
He needed that, I think, as well, because it was very intense for him. I think the way that he would go out to party, it was very intense, like breaking his like physical limits.
Right. And he's very outgoing.
And he's very outgoing. Yeah, yeah.
Like he's probably like the most outgoing brother.
Yeah, he's very outgoing, and he likes to like be loud and throw jokes and like
meet everybody,
act as different characters, have a full theater. He'll make a full theater and entertain everyone, and yeah, he's really out there. And so now it's good. He's balancing. He like found a better balance, I think. And it feels healthier for him. I think he feels healthier. And so Alejandro also came back.
So he's here in Shenzhen.
Yeah, he lives with my mom.
Okay.
Because Alejandro, he's the youngest of my.
How old is he now?
He's not really young. He's 26.
26.
And I keep forgetting that I still see him as a baby.
Right.
Yeah, and I think maybe that won't. It's hard
But
for
he
me to
lives in
change that.
Shenzhen.
But he's a grown up man, and he lives with my mom, and he's still a dancer, and he's a full-time professional dancer, and he teaches and battles in competitions, and he's really passionate about his dance. Right now, he's traveling around China doing like a little tour, teaching in different cities and battling.
That's
in
amazing.
Cities. And I'm really proud of him. And so as soon as I thought like, okay, I can come back to China, see Alejandro, see Sebas, see my mother, I'm like, I'm just 1 hour away. I'm definitely doing it. And then I got back here, and I'm like, wow, this is also my home. I kind of like forgot about it. For 3 years and a half, I was just traveling, and I'm like, yeah, my home, everything is my home, and I'm very flexible with it.
Home,
yeah. But when I was here, I'm like, but I still have community here, and I still have friends here, and I have family here, and I have this very strong network that I built here, and it's still here. And wow, so I'm like, okay, this is really an interesting feeling for me.
Right.
So I quickly said like, okay, there's no rush for me to just leave. I can also chill here for a while. And for now, I'm like trying to balance that, because trying to balance living in Shenzhen and coming back to like this kind of lifestyle, but also balancing with the other lifestyle that I have developed the last 3 years and a half during the pandemic. That was more like living like
you're a nomad,
like a nomad, and like very simple, humble life, living in the mountains, in the villages, in the islands, just like very simple, taking care of my body and my mind, just being healthy every day, just swimming, walking, hiking every day, eating what's growing from the trees and around my house, like more like
sunshine food,
just perfect, very healthy lifestyle, like a highest quality of health that I've ever lived. So trying to balance that and seeing, okay, maybe I can spend some months in China and Shenzhen, living like as a DJ, working, being with my family and my friends here, and also then spend some time just being with my other friends and just focusing on like growing, working on like living off the land and working on the land, and just like going back to more my roots, which like my family's all farmers, like my grandparents, their roots are in the land, growing animals and fruits, and I grew up with that, because my grandfather would take me, spend weeks and months with him in the farm in the mountains of the middle of Colombia, just like fishing, just like fishing,
being in nature,
growing potatoes, grabbing bananas, oranges, lemons, just putting seeds on the ground, picking up eggs. Yeah, and that for me is a very important part of me, that I kind of forgot all this, the years that I was just like in the city hustling as a DJ. And so now I want to balance both lives. Yeah, that's my purpose.
And what does your mom do here?
She's a teacher.
So she's
a language teacher.
Okay.
She studied that.
She came over for the trading business?
She just
came over to visit
that trading thing was funny, because it was just like, oh, let's go have fun. China, let's go see the Great Wall and the Forbidden City. Let's come on. Let's just all family, let's all cousins, aunties, uncles. Let's all go and have fun for a few weeks. And if you see something at the Canton Fair that you're interested in, buy a bunch of them. We'll send it to Colombia and sell it. And for some, it worked for a bit. For some, like not interested.
So it's not really. So the trading is not really part of your family anymore.
Nah, they tried it for like maximum 3 years,
Right.
and then it was not. It didn't really work out. Not really interested in it. So my mother has always been good at being like that mother, like being like motherhood for her has been her career.
Right.
And so when she realized that she could just, she studied like pedagogía, which is like learning how to teach children. That's what was her career. I don't know the name in English. And when she realized that in China they pay well for that, and it's a really nice career to have in China, like they really appreciate it. And so she tried it. She started working in a school in Shenzhen, and she started to get a really comfortable with it. The salary was really good. The working hours were super comfortable, and people really appreciated her job. Not only the children, but also the managers and owners of the school and everyone involved. And now they don't want to let her go, you know? Even when she's like, some days when she expresses like, oh, no, maybe I'm going to change school. Maybe I'll just stop working here. Maybe I'm going to go to another place. They like beg her, please don't go. Like, we really need you. Like, you are very important.
You're a rock here.
Yeah.
You know?
And so I think because of her motherhood experience, she's like really good at being with children, you know, and just like nourishing them.
I want to get her on the podcast one of these days.
Yeah, you should.
I've never met her.
Interesting. Yeah, it'd be really interesting. Yeah.
I think she would have some crazy stories, you know. Like, just 4 brothers, right? There's no other.
Yeah, my mom and my dad together, they had 4 of us, 4 brothers. Yeah.
And those are the 4 that I know.
Yeah, you know all 4.
You know, so it's just like, it's such a crazy, like, a woman from Colombia, you know. I don't want to say raising, but like raising 4 boys in China.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like it could be like a movie or like a sitcom.
Yeah.
You know,
it is pretty crazy, actually.
You know, because you guys are all like, you know, I'm sure you guys have like brotherly feuds and brotherly problems.
Sure. A lot of feuds between us as well.
Plus you're in this, you know, country that's not your own.
Yeah.
You know, and she's working, and then, but you know, the best thing, I would say that I would be jealous of you is like, mother's cooking is always the best.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know?
For me, it's a killer. Like, it's hard.
Like, you're so blessed to have
it's hard to
this,
leave. Like, once I'm here and I've been eating my mother's food, is like, okay, now I have to leave, right? I have to make that strong decision of like going somewhere else where my mother won't be there cooking, and because she's especially she's very focused in like, because she loves the craft of the kitchen, of cooking. And she really expresses her like love, gratitude, appreciation with her cooking. And you can it's really obvious. Like, when you sit down to eat with her, it's really obvious. It's like the feeling is overwhelming of love through the eating. And so, yeah, it's like you miss it when you're cooking for yourself, and, you know, when you're like with somebody else cooking. It's like, wow, it's a big deal in my life. Yeah.
Right. So also too, like, from my experience, there's no better meal than a mother cooking for her child.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, it's full of love.
Yeah.
You know, and the most important ingredients, and pretty much everything that you do in life is love.
Intention, purpose.
You know, intention.
Yeah.
So. You're blessed. You're blessed on that.
Blessed, yeah. So sometimes my friends ask me, "What are you doing in China?" People who have never been in China and just heard like the media, they're like, "China? What you do? What are you doing in China?" And I'm like, "Well, I have a great life in China. I have my mother and my brothers around,
right?
And living with them is a joy. Like, I really have a great time. Like, we have amazing fun and like connection." And we really eat so good, and like, I felt like a bit like it was sometimes too easy for me to be in China, because all my friends, they're like, "No, I'm here by myself, just like hustling and dealing with everything by myself." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's tough. I've also tried that, and that's tough life." And when I talk about my life here, I'm like, oh my god, I'm it's too easy for me.
I got my mom, I got my
everything.
brothers.
It's too easy. Like it's no comparison. Like
Yeah.
like kudos for the people who stay here, like hustling by themselves. Like wow, that's strength. Yeah, for sure.
And where's Dante?
He's in Mexico right now.
He's in Mexico?
Yeah, but he's always like, we always talk and he's like, yeah, so how things are, like, how's China? Maybe I'll go back. I want to go back. But he's not sure. And he has 3 dogs that he has to take care of. Like, he's 3 babies, basically, his family. And yeah, so for him, it's a big leap if he wants to come back to China.
Right.
He has to buy 3 extra airplane tickets.
And he wants to bring all his babies with him?
Yeah, he won't let them. He has to be with them.
Right.
So yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, you have to figure your finances, and yeah,
That's expensive.
it's expensive to fly all the way from America to China with 3 dogs. You're not even allowed to. So he has to hire 2 other people to bring the other dogs.
Oh, because he only can bring one at a time?
Only one at a time. So he has to pay a lot of tickets. Finally, he has to spend a lot of money. Yeah.
It's like having a child, you know?
Yeah, that's basically, he has children. Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate you fucking coming.
Yeah, man. Thanks
having
for
this drink with me and sharing stories, and hearing about you.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate the invitation.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So, cheers, man.
Cheers, man.